ugh, here we go.
All right, we got a staff poll coming up. Not titillating.
Oh, do tell.
I found interesting. Okay. Also, a couple more suggestions for the NFL Rules Committee. I had the campaign to get the goalpost uprights raised. And
arduous, but ultimately successful.
You know, it took longer than it needed to because whenever I float ideas, I'm not always met with that's a good one. I get a lot of, but no, what if instead of raising them, we just put one over the top too, and you had to like kick it through the square, and it's like, well, okay, but that's a different game, and we're doing something different. I'm suggesting adding 6 foot to the top of the upright so the ball doesn't sail 5 feet over the top, and you don't know if it was fair or foul, and then someone goes, what if we put one down the middle? And if you hit the one in the middle, and I'm like, I like these ideas, except for this is what I'm trying to accomplish.
I'm talking about improving this one thing. You're talking about inventing a new thing.
Yeah, you're talking about goal ball.
Sounds lovely.
Right. So there's time for your discussion, but this is my discussion, and this is what we're doing. They did it, and it's helped.
Did you get the credit?
I think I did. I think it's amongst the Bill Simmons sports guys and the Damasheks of the world. I don't know. I've not made it to the commissioner's office and question him personally. But maybe I should go in there and go, oh, I got some Gruden information for you. And they'd be like, what? I'm not going to share it with anyone.
Not so fast, my friend.
And then I just go in there and sit down and start talking about myself and goalposts.
That's good.
All right. So I'm going to help with the competition committee with staff poll as well. Also, there is this. Came up. I was doing an Ace on the House with Stromer. I don't know what your personal experience is, but I'm interested. I could get everyone's input on this one, which is somebody called in and he said, you know, when you're renovating a home, there's a lot of last guy's work shitting that's going on.
Oh, I don't know who did this, but this got to be changed.
His hands cut off. I don't know now. So
I know a moron took care of this.
Hairstylist too.
Right. Very self-serving because not only are you suggesting you're much better than the last person, but we're going to have to pay me a little extra because I got to undo this shit.
This is a botched job.
Left me nothing to work with.
And you're a fool for hiring that person.
Right.
And approving this.
I got to plead ignorance.
Right. So the number one on the food chain are electricians. Electricians are like, who wired this panel? This is, oh man, this is jerry-rigged, man.
I got to start before square one.
Right, yeah, whatever comes before the first square, that's my square.
Give me a kite and a key.
Right, so there's a lot of like, now you go, see, the electricians do it because it's hard to do with the finish guys, because if you're just looking at crown molding, then the homeowner can ascertain it. You can't look at crown molding that looks good and goes, I don't know who put this here, because you're looking at it, it looks fine. Right. But this shit's going on inside the walls. And it's a little technical. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't know what you're looking for.
We should have pulled a home run and got a new circuit here. He pulled off the old core. He took the power off of the other outlet and he just daisy chained him. He didn't pull. He should have pulled a home run.
What hack?
Got to go all the way back to the panel with this.
He was Cat 3. He should have used Cat 6 at least.
Right. That's what it is. So it was electricians were number one in the work shitting, and then number two was plumbers. They do a lot. Whatever's inside the wall, they can say whatever they want, and you don't know about. But I said, the number one previous work shitter who comes in your home, AV guys.
Oh.
AV guys. They're like, I don't know what they were thinking with this coax. They're running coax or running Cat 4 instead of Cat 6. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
And you can't say anything.
You don't know, but also the business moves so fast that, of course, anyone who wired up your home theater X amount of years ago or did whatever, your office with the monitor and the whatever. But there's a lot of like, he went with single phase speakers. Why did he put the front speakers behind the screen, and the subwoofer's not even in the right.
I guess if you're in 1998.
Yeah, Sonos wasn't invented yet.
It's always the subwoofers in the wrong place. I don't know why they did it this way. I don't know why they use these speakers. It's all that. And then It's also a weird thing too, like the home theater stuff is there are speakers that are $14,000 for 4, and then there's speakers that are $186 for 4. And it's like going, why are you driving a Toyota? You should be in a Bentley. Why didn't they use a Bentley?
Yep.
And it's like, well, they didn't do it because they have a fucking budget. And they went with the whatever. They didn't go with the Sony. They went with the LG because the Sony was $5,500 and the LG was $1,400. But that's why they did it. Like, so there's that, yes.
Okay, now I want to ask this to you. Let's transition gently to cars because my in-laws were shocked and horrified that I was not putting 91 gasoline in my leased car. I'm like, no, put fucking 80 now. Put the cheapest. If I can pump my own crude, I'd put it in there.
It's essentially a rental.
Yeah, exactly. But like they were shocked. Like, and sorry to bring it back to what you're talking about.
No, I'll go on this one.
Yeah, like I think the more expensive speakers and TV and whatever is worth it if you're getting the most out of it. If you're projecting, to the back of a theater and then you want to hear, crystal clear. But if you're just watching in front of your couch, the $1,400, TV will work just fine.
Yeah.
Not only that, but when it comes to automobiles, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Some require the higher octane performance cars.
That's what I said. It's not a fucking Ferrari.
Others that do not.
Yeah.
You are just wasting your money with the ones that do not. Your average, car, SUV, Toyota Camry, whatever it is, waste of money putting the higher grade octane stuff in it. Totally unnecessary. They're designed to run off of this and they have to inform you otherwise. So I'm guessing if you open the gas hatch on a new Corvette or a Ferrari, it will say 92 or 91 above or whatever that is. If you do it on a Camry, it will not. And that means, believe me, they know what they're doing. They figured it out. The thing is, computers running everything. They do not need your higher octane.
Go ahead and play that.
Complete waste of time.
There you go.
And if you're Mike August and you're putting it in a rental car in Texas, they really don't need it.
Wow.
All right.
Sorry, back to AV.
Yeah. So the AV guys are the biggest shitters of work or previous work. Now, my fantasy is always just to bring the guy back who did it 10 years ago and watch him shit all over his own work.
What moron?
Yes, but there.
Yes, what moron?
There is that. All right, the NFL competition committee. So I was watching yesterday. Brian, you're going to have to get some distance from this one because it was your own San Francisco 49ers.
I didn't even see the game, so this will be fresh. I'm the replay gimp.
It was a tied ball game. Mm-hmm. San Francisco had the ball with about 40-something seconds left. They were marching down to attempt to win it in a field goal, most likely at the end of the game. And they threw a quick slant pass. The receiver caught the ball, then immediately had the ball stripped, but because he did not take two steps or make a whatever
football move,
the ball was stripped on the 40-yard line or whatever it is. Now the Bengals with 40 seconds left and probably a timeout or two would have been a completion or two away from setting up their own field goal and winning this game at the end. We'll show you the play. Quarterback. Well, it was a catch because he caught the ball, but then it wasn't a catch because he didn't make a football move. Now, as I've said repeatedly, catching a football is the ultimate in a football move. Caught football, started to bring in football and run with football.
He's got
football
2 feet down.
Stripped. Okay. Now the game ends. I think San Francisco wins. Caught the ball, tucked it, started. Also, you're negating a great. Yeah, went to OT and then I think San Francisco won. The point is this: you're taking away a great defensive play. Mm-hmm. That DB, when he's renegotiating his contract, that defensive back wants to go. Remember the San Francisco game? Guy caught it, stripped it. We got it, recovered it, kicked the field goal, and won the game. That was this dude over here, but it's not because it's not a...
Doesn't count.
Well, he caught the ball.
Yeah,
like my feeling is there are plenty of plays where the guy gets the ball and he's got it kind of pinned to his face mask and it's moving, it's bobbling, no catch. But once you catch it and then start to tuck it and then put your feet on the ground, again, the thought experiment is if the DB was never born, let's just say that DB's mom got pregnant in Texas or something and it was just aborted.
Oh, he'd be born.
Would the guy still? Oh, sorry, born in California or New York,
Texas previous.
Would the guy? Yeah, I'm going back a few years. The guy's 24.
I wasn't following along.
Would the guy? Would the receiver still have the ball and be running down the field? The answer is
very likely.
Yes, he caught it.
Right.
He had it. He was tucking it. Let's get rid of that. We're putting too fine a point on this. We're gilding the lily. We're getting out our jeweler's loops. We don't need to. Just review the play. Did he catch it? Is it a catch? Yes, he caught the ball. Then what happened? Ball was stripped. Okay, live ball. Right. That's how we need to do this.
What's the point of doing it the way they're currently doing it?
I think they would say, well, it's some of these things happen so fast. Would he have held on to it? Was it a catch? Let him get his feet on the ground and start up the field.
He has to establish that he caught the ball and is making a move to do something.
Okay.
But when you watch it, he caught it and he started to put it down. He did not bobble it or juggle it or anything. The other one...
Well, let me say about this. The benefit of my 49ers, so of course I'm glad that wasn't considered a fumble. That said, here's the consistency test. If you catch that ball in the end zone and you get 2 feet down, you fall out of bounds, you don't have to make a football move. You made the catch, that's the touchdown. So that should be a consistent play across the field, no matter if you're in the end zone or not.
You made your first football move when you ran a sub 4.5 40 in high school. That's the first football move these guys make. And the second
you donned a uniform.
Catching the ball that is thrown to you is a football move. Okay. The next one is, it happened in the late game. It was the Bears game. Bears were way down on, who were they playing? Packers. Yeah, they were down. They were down on the Packers. And so they tried an onside kick. And they recovered the onside kick, and they would have, with 1:22 left, they could have gone down by a touchdown or by a score. It was out of reach, 2-score game at this point, but he kicks it, and the Bears, who are kicking the onside kick, recover the ball. Ball bounces up. Guy gets it.
Nice.
And he's taking it to the house, but he can't advance it.
He can't advance an onside
Now,
kick.
That's a very exciting play and a very exciting part of the game.
And it makes it a 1-score game with 1:20 left.
But the ball's going back to the 40.
Boom.
So all that was for nothing.
Well, you got the ball, but now you got to go half the field, and you don't have much time, and I don't think they scored. But the point is why not let them advance the ball? Any fumble... I don't like the muffed punt this way. Look, if the ball's live, it's on the ground, somebody touched it, advance it. Leave it. You're taking an exciting play away. Right. And I feel the same way about the strip with the receiver. Guy stripped the ball, ball's loose on the ground. You're taking the ball loose on the ground and advancing it is an exciting play. Why are we taking it away?
You're 100% right. Can I see that again, just that play? Because it looked like the guy on the outside, on the receiving team, made contact with the ball, which would be like, live ball, go get it.
Yes, he did.
They tell you, come on, that's a live ball. Boo.
Just change these two. You made a very exciting play, not exciting. All right, so 2 rules for the Rules Committee to work
to review.
Yes.
I wanted to give you a quick observation, Adam. I know you're a big fan of fantastic cuts or super Sams, all the...
I get my hair cut at places that end in the word cuts.
Right.
Sports cuts, all that kind of stuff.
I can now attest, as I'm sure you can, those places, not part of woke culture. In any stretch of the imagination. We took the 6-year-old to get a haircut. We're like, he's not going to the Yellow Balloon or one of those $50 places on Ventura, please. Mm-hmm. So we took him to this place. Nice woman, probably Eastern European, did a great job. And we were talking about joking like, oh boy, it's so great to be past the age where, every haircut ends in tears and, kids don't want scissors next to their face and it's the whole thing. And instead of going, oh, yeah, we've seen it, she goes, oh, no, you're a boy. You no cry. You don't cry. You big strong boy. Oh no. They're for girls.
Yes.
And I just kind of was like, wow. I found the patch of land in LA that is not woke.
You pulled him aside. It's okay to cry, honey.
I just watched it. I just made a mental note. Oh no. You're a boy. You no cry there.
Exactly like the woman who cuts my hair, who is good. But there's nothing I can do to ever tantalize her or get her interest, But she'll always go like, what's going on? And no matter what I say is going on, she'll go, okay.
Yeah. Here. You want square or round?
Yeah. What?
Oh, you want the round on the back?
I don't know. Do whatever you want.
Oh, okay.
That's my whole thing.
Oh, very handsome. You're a very handsome man.
Yeah,
okay.
Thanks,
so what are you doing today? What do you got going on?
Well, actually, later I'm heading off to Europe to do a car race.
Oh, okay. So on the side, you want the 5 clipper or the 5?
Yeah, 4, 5,
4,
whatever you use. And then after that, I'm going to take a dirigible into the Coliseum because they have a college football game, and I'm going to take them all out. Like Black Sunday.
my son's going to college now. I'll give you a free comb.
Yeah, and then I'm going to do a gender reassignment surgery because, a lot of these bars have ladies' night, and I want some free hooch, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure. And you want me to clean up eyebrow?
I just had them waxed, so does it still look bad to you?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I threw in for free. You're so handsome.
Yeah, and then later on, I'm going to lead an insurrection into the Capitol with the guys that kind of put together on the internet. So.
My daughter work in the internet. You want me a clean shave? I could do clean shave.
Oh no, I don't need to shave. I actually shave too. This is really.
Oh no, you're very hairy, strong, hairy man.
Virile, yeah.
Very virile. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My daughter work in internet sales. You want me to have her call you?
Yeah, and then after that, I got a lot on my plate today.
No.
I'm gonna force sexual relations on the gal that's behind the cash register there, the one who answers the phone.
Oh, okay. How attached are you to the ear hair? You want me to take care of?
Oh, is there ear hair issue?
Yeah, tuft.
I can't see it.
Yeah,
man.
a little tuft.
Yeah, I don't have my reading glasses on.
I take care for you.
You take care of it?
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
And see, that's basically how my conversations go.
Nonplussed.
Yeah. No, I get it now. Completely.
The women who work in this town, at least, I guess, you could kind of find a little cross-section of women who work by just going to the barber shop or the salon or the whatever that will tell you what types of women are working. Like you can go to some places and they're all, the black salon or the white ladies, but out here, the lower threshold ones, the haircuts are under $20. A lot of Eastern European Baltic chicks mixed with Hispanic chicks.
You go to the nail salon, you get a nice cross section of who's working and who's not working.
Yes,
to go at the right time.
That's right.
Yes. All right. The other thing, I was listening to the news today, and I had to almost sit down, which was. They're talking about, inflation. And inflation is bad, and the economy's bad, but the inflation. And they said, not since June of 1982 has inflation been. And I'm like, guess who graduated high school in June of 1982? This hombre. And then they're like, it's not been so bad since June, the inflation. And I was like, that's right. I did no preparation. I did no training. I had no skills. I was not going to college. I was not going to enter into business with my dad and his furniture business or anything. I just wandered outside of the gates of North Hollywood High and just literally wandered around. During the month, they usually will go since the early 80s or something. But no, they picked
the
June.
Sweet spot.
Picked June, 12th, when Carolla graduated without a degree in hand. And I was just set loose to the world just to wander around. And I had no reference points. I didn't know anything about the economy, the stock market, or anything. To me, this was just what it was.
Yeah.
And I would just wander into stores and supermarkets and go, you need someone to clean up or stack boxes? They were like, nope, we do not. So the difference, there was a lot of inflation and the economy was all fucked up. But the difference is there were no jobs.
Right.
Now I could wander into any business on any corner because they all have a hiring thing.
Yeah.
I'll just get a job at a restaurant.
We'll accept literally anyone.
Right. Now it was
You should.
all the inflation minus the jobs. And I'm not an economist. I don't know why we had to have both in June of 1982, but it's exactly what we had.
Well, they're usually, I'm not an economist either, obviously. They're usually tied hand in hand, right? Bad inflation, bad economy, but now we have bad inflation and fucking job market's hot.
Yeah. I wish I would have so happily just walked into any restaurant and done any job that they had, but nope.
You would have made a good bartender.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
And not just for the cash and the walking around money, which we've talked about before. But
he could do the Chili's
you're
stuff.
affable.
Yeah.
And, maybe not the flair.
I would argue my 1 for you, 2 for me policy would probably grow old with the management.
Right.
But yeah. All right, our staff poll. So
what's the question?
I will tell you, I was working on the book with Mike Lynch, as I told you I've been doing. I was driving home from doing comedy on Saturday night, and he was reading the book to me. And he did this thing where he goes, I can't remember the complete context of it, but it was like he said, so you can just, go ahead and don't go to work, just call out sick. And I said, oh. And he'll read on for a second, and then sometimes he'll make little flubs or something. And I said, I think he said call out sick. And he'll go, yeah. And I'll go, but call in sick. That's the phrase. And now normally Mike and I are all simpatico. Right. He'll go like, oh, I said out? Oh, yeah, call in sick.
Is this a regional thing, like standing online versus standing in line?
That's what I said. I said, you call in sick. You call in to work sick. And he goes, no, you call out sick.
Yeah, he's right.
And I said...
He's right?
He's right.
I said, I never...
No, he's not.
Believe me, I've done a lot of this. I've been on the winning end and the losing end of calling in and out sick. Never heard it called out sick. As you call in sick. And they go, no, it's out. And then I said, it's got to be a regional. I mean, Lynch, a very aware, very sober, very on top of it guy. If he's sticking with his guns, then that just means that's what he knows. And I was like... This is so weird to me because I've never heard call out sick. I've only heard call in sick.
Yeah, I'm a call in sick guy.
I think it depends where you take the breath. You're not calling out sick. You're calling out sick. Mm-hmm. I have to call out sick.
That makes sense because
I'm out today.
Once you call in sick, you will be out sick.
Right.
But you're calling in to the office to report that you are sick.
And calling out, like, oh, I got to call out today. I'm calling out sick.
I would say I'm out sick today.
Right. Yeah.
But then I would call in sick.
Call in out sick.
Yeah. So you're
I would
out.
say call out sick.
I'm call in.
Yeah. Now.
Which I don't do, by the way.
Now.
Same.
And he could. Chooses not to. Do we have a staff poll here? Because now it was
a lot of Californians in this building.
I just assumed it was an East Coast, West Coast thing.
Everybody here says it's call in sick.
Wow.
Except for Emmy,
who's from the East Coast,
and Ryan, who's from the Bay Area. So
Brian.
Ryan's out till fucking lunch half the time. I don't know what's going on with that kid.
He's on a lunch run, actually. But,
literally.
But maybe Ryan's dad is an East Coaster because sometimes you'll pick up things from your parents if they say filling station or ash can or something. You'll call it that.
Let me ask you this question: what if you're okay? I'm sick. I'm not going to use the word sick. Ready? You guys, I don't feel good. I think I need to call in to work. Or you guys, I don't feel well. I think I need to call out today.
Well, call in to work is a specific action.
Because I
need
to call in. Or you guys, I'm sick. I got to call out.
I guess in that respect, it could be.
I got where you're going. I still don't think it works.
Yeah, call out sick. That's what we've always said.
All right, mine was the action is you're calling in to work.
You are.
So that's why I was calling in, and then what happens after you called in? Because could you call out late? See, that's the crux of it. If I was in court, I would say, well, why else would you call work?
Hopefully
and you go, well, you could call work to ask for what they wanted for lunch or tell them you're going to be late.
Right.
But if you wouldn't call out late, then maybe you shouldn't call out sick. You would call in and then state what the business was.
Yes. I'm calling into work to report any number of things.
But that's why I said at the beginning, you're not calling out to say you're sick. You're calling to say you're out sick. I'm calling out sick.
Okay.
All right. It works. Look, I don't look
Don't admonish Lynch for
there's
this.
nothing.
I hope this doesn't cost him his
He's
job.
the least responsible.
He and I we were in a place we'd never been before. We were in uncharted territory where neither one of us had heard the other version.
I never
of
heard
it.
Carolla.
You've really never heard it?
Never heard it.
Wow.
We've lived and worked in California our whole lives.
But
That's
in
true.
my industry, everybody is from the East
good point.
Coast, and I still haven't heard them say it. This is the first time I took notice. Is Ryan's dad from the East Coast, perhaps? No?
New Jersey.
Oh, there you go.
See, there's usually there's an explanation because Ryan grew up out here. So where would the out sick part come in? And then the
Sure.
answer is
Jersey.
So if you're from here, it is PCH, not the PCH,
Right.
and it is calling in sick.
I never heard of sleeping in until I was an adult.
Oh, he slept out.
No, it was just slept late. I never heard the phrase. I didn't know what sleeping in
They
meant.
don't like the in. Do you think Brian? You think you picked that up from your dad? Because I'm trying to think where else you would get that.
You know, honestly, I think it's kind of a passive voice thing. Like, it's like, I think about like my girlfriend. She's like, "Oh, why don't you call out sick?" But I
She's
never
to
really
blame.
directly say, like, I don't like call Kaylin and say,
Where's
"Hey,
she
man, I'm
from?
calling in sick."
Where's she from?
Calabasas.
Really?
Where's her
She's
dad
a
from?
Call out. Yeah, we got to find out where's her family from.
Her dad's from Calabasas.
Oh, wow, old money, man.
Calabasas, Pennsylvania. Where do you guys stand on the monsters who say standing online versus standing in line?
I never heard of online until I became an adult. You got to get in
really?
line for that.
Yeah, I'm in line.
Yeah, of
I'm
course.
standing-
Every human being is.
standing
Unless, I
in
know
line.
people listening say online,
No.
you're wrong. You're monsters.
Agreed.
And you're monsters for not admitting you're wrong.
And please
Mm-hmm.
prove me right on this. This is a fight in our house. It's really, really hot in here. Can you please turn the air down?
Versus up.
Turn it up?
Now I'm lost.
Yeah.
Because I say you need to turn the temperature down
understand.
because it's too hot. And
Yeah.
he goes, why would you want to turn the air down?
I circumvented by saying something like, let's crank the air or,
Yeah.
you know.
Good. I like that. Crank the air.
All right. Let's see. We got some trending topics to get into. Lots of interesting subjects. It is funny watching when you watch football with guys from the neighborhood. You just kind of watch football and then they complain about their wives or their kids or whatever. But when you watch football with comedic writers, there's everyone's got some hot take on everything, and there's a commercial that runs over and over again, and it's not Kate
McKinnon.
McKinnon. It's Gronk trying to get in on USA veterans
It's a mixed
insurance.
message. It's a mixed
What?
message.
It's Gronk. He calls in. He's like, "Hello, I'd like to sign up for your veterans insurance," and they're like, What do you do? And he's like, I'm one of you,
Yeah.
you know. And
Stolen
Kevin
valor.
Hitch is yelling, "Stolen valor!" The guy's a millionaire.
Yeah.
He's a millionaire. This is made for veterans who get their income is $1,400 a month from the government.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Gronk is making millions and millions. Why is he trying to bilk the taxpayers out of cash?
I don't know if you remember, but Christy worked for Farmers Insurance for a number of years, 10 years ago or so. And USAA, she did market research. USAA, far and away the best research. Oh, excuse me. Best insurance, best customer satisfaction, best results, everyone would love to have USAA, but of course it's only for military members. So this comes from kind of a backwards strategy where it's like, everyone wants this. What if Gronk kept trying to get it? It's like, no, this is a horrible strategy. This doesn't make any sense.
Well, Hanch
He
was
seems
yelling,
like an asshole.
"Stolen valor."
Yeah, that doesn't seem. I don't think the veterans would be on board with this ad.
And then later on, there is is it Farmers Insurance, the one with Aaron Rodgers and
State Farm.
State Farm, and then what's his
And
name?
the giant buff agent with the huge arms.
Yes, whose guns are bigger than the
Aaron
professional
Rodgers.
athletes, Aaron Rodgers or
Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yep.
Then you got Mahomes in there going, "Hey, I'm just like a sneaker guy. Like I'm a sneakerhead. Do I get the same rate as whatever?" And it's like, got the same concept there. You have multi-millionaire guys trying to undercut insurance companies to get a break
Better deal
on their
on
homeowners. It's weird. So that upset Hench as well.
Well, of course, they're probably thinking a guy who could have anything and he wants the insurance I have.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't come across that way.
And why are they advertising it? It's not available to anyone except those the 4% of the population is military.
They run the shit out of that Gronk ad. All right.
It's offensive.
Also, stolen. We don't like stolen
No,
valor.
we don't.
All right, let me tell you about Solo Stove. Nothing like gathering around the fire on a cool evening. A smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove makes your outdoor moments even more memorable. And Solo Stove's holiday sale is upon us. You can get a great deal on a Solo Stove fire pit. These things are made of stainless steel. They're high grade, they're efficient, and it is so nice, especially as it cools down just sitting outside. They're brilliantly engineered. 304 stainless steel, by the way, is what it is. 360-degree airflow system maximizes efficiency while minimizing the smoke. Easy to light with just a few bits of starter. Perfectly portable. Take your Solo Stove with you on camping trips and wherever. It is Solo Stove, right, Dawson?
Let the gifting begin. Shop Solo Stove's holiday sale for huge site-wide savings now through the end of the year and get $10 off with promo code Adam, plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Get an extra $10 off holiday deals at solostove.com, promo code Adam.
All right, we'll do some trending topics with our own Chris Maxipata right after this.
Okay, so let's kick this off with Steve Harvey. Mm-hmm. So I love Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
Do you?
I do. I go back and watch Family Feud clips. They play standalone Family Feud clips online just on social media, and they're great. He's really funny.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't know. There's certain guys where you go, oh, that guy's just hosting everything. He does everything. He can't be funny. He's not. We do this thing with comedians like Dave Chappelle's perfect because I don't know, how much funnier is Dave Chappelle than Steve Harvey? Cosmically, I don't know, but we look at them as very different. That guy's an artist. This other guy's getting paid, but doesn't mean he's not funny.
His old stand-up's great. I just thought maybe he lost a step.
And he's good because he's definitely an adversary against the players. Like he makes fun of them, and that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, and his reactions as the host of Family Feud, you got to just go Google it. Do yourself a flavor.
And maybe I should revise he's the black Dr. Phil. Bald, big mustache. No one really knows exactly. No one doesn't garner a whole lot of respect. Seems to fucking work all the time.
Yeah.
He is I still say the black Dr. Phil.
And visually too. So
yes.
He hosted the latest Miss Universe. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Wait. He had were we joking about the fact that he messed up the thing last time? Okay. I have a vague recollection of
it. Well, let's remind you here. Yeah, so this is in 2015. This is just a little clip of what happened.
I have to apologize.
Clara goes crazy.
Never good.
Poor guy.
Hosting
Poor girl.
anything like this, it just falls under the heading of it. Only things could go wrong, but nothing could go right.
Yeah, so
you'll never the highest compliment you could ever get. It's all downside. With the only upside is you're funnier than Mario Lopez. That's all we got.
Yeah.
In the kudos department, that's all downside.
Wasn't this around the time of Warren Beatty and What's Her Fuck screwing up the Best Picture?
Yeah, I was going to ask, did Jimmy reach out?
Yeah, Faye Dunaway?
Yeah,
Faye
and I was
Dunaway.
like, maybe we shouldn't let the octogenarians read the card just because there's a lot of words on there.
Well, it wasn't their fault. They got the wrong card.
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think
Bryan.
Steve's
Bryan
card said
looks mad.
first runner-up, and he instead of winner. And
I was literally telling anyone who would listen at the table yesterday watching football, which is somebody, Tony brought his son, and then it was like, what are you, sophomore, freshman, or whatever? And I was like, I fucked that up all the time because we had 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Oh, yeah,
that was my high school. We didn't get, and I didn't go to college. So we didn't get into freshmen and sophomores and stuff. I always have to pause. I feel like you're asking for trouble with runner-up and first runner-up and second runner-up and all this. You're first, second, third, man. win, place, and show, or silver and bronze and gold. Like,
1, 2, 3.
Do it. The
Just
second
put the one
runner-up
name.
thing. Yeah.
You're 100% right. My point was this, or vis-a-vis the Oscars, was you hand an older person a card in that scenario with lots of words on it, and it's gonna. If you watch Warren Beatty, like he recognized like something's not right here, something's not right, and Faye Dunaway butts her fucking ass in there and is like, just say it, it's La La Land.
Well, it said Emma Stone for La La Land.
And Warren Beatty was clearly he took a good 5 seconds. Was like, this isn't right.
I was standing right there.
And fucking Faye
I was
Dunaway
right behind that curtain.
sold him out.
But what would you have done if she wasn't? If there was no Faye Dunaway, what would Warren Beatty have done?
I don't know, but he was on his way to doing something.
Well, sorry. Go ahead, Max Pata.
All right. Well, so Steve is hosting again. He just hosted this year, and he got a lot of flack because it was the question in the Q&A, right? Mm-hmm. And so we asked Miss Panama, "Hey, let's talk about you getting a position at the UN." Mm-hmm. And she answered, and their accomplishments. He talked to Miss Great Britain, and let's talk about how Medusa's origin story inspired you to fight against gender-based violence.
Oh.
And she answered it. Yes,
Sounds like a
I know.
Mad Lib.
Wow.
I know. But Miss India.
I'd love to see Bert Parks asking those questions from like 1963, like what kind of mop would you use on a gentleman's kitchen if you weren't going to use a wax-based cleaning product?
Your husband has to bring on the collar, and it's bad.
He likes his steaks medium rare and his martinis shaken, not stirred, but you're out of time.
Yeah.
How do you react? Like that would have to be every question.
He's pulling
right?
up the driveway, and you can't find his slippers.
Yeah.
He's 5 minutes late, and the ice is starting to melt.
And your hair's not done.
And then they would go super far the other direction and probably go, it's the children of the world. Like, what would you say to the children of the world? But I'll bet you if we dug back a little bit into the early iterations of this with like Pat Boone hosting or something in 1955, probably
certain
a lot
questions
of...
don't
like to
stand
see
the test
those.
of time.
I'd like
Yes,
to see that.
now, shortly after your deserved beating, do you ice? Do you use a
Cover
sob? Sorry.
What's your excuse for the black eye? You fell on the stairs.
That's right.
Yeah, Steve had a little more modern questions.
All right.
And so he asked her that. But then Miss India comes up. Her name is Harnaz Sandhu, and this is what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I hear you do some pretty good animal impersonations.
What?
Yeah, they got
She
that
looked shocked.
question. Let's hear your best one.
Oh my God, Steve, I was not expecting to do this on world stage, but I have to do this. I have no other option. I love cats. I love animals. I would love to mimic a cat.
Oh
Brace yourself, everyone.
Oh boy.
This is not dignified.
Poor India.
You know
But
what?
I have to say this, Steve, that, this talent made me realize that we should never compromise with our hobbies because that can lead to your dream career.
With the hobbies or the
Yeah.
whole
Thank you. I'm still stuck on the cat sound. Thank you very much.
Oh, poor.
Well,
You poor-
the real question is
I have embarrassment goosebumps.
the question before this. What was the question before this? Like, was he talking
directly
about that
before.
giant plastic island in the middle of the Pacific?
The Great
and
Barrier
how-
Garbage Patch.
Yeah, how they would address that problem, and then you do the cat or the. Now, she should have said, I do an amazing, unfunny blowhard gorilla. Let me, can I borrow your mustache? But she's not thinking
Yeah,
on her
she
feet.
didn't-
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you only-
the
yeah, the
real
lights, you
answer
can't-
there is you gotta shoot back with
Right.
something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for Steve in a sense because someone handed him that. Some segment
Right.
producer.
Yes.
I don't think Steve conjured that question.
I have to say, because this is called a beauty pageant, so I think we're allowed to comment. Is she not the most stunning woman?
okay.
Holy shit.
I gotta tell you, the
like that.
India has upped its hotness game
Totally.
God.
5,000 fold. Well, when I was
Yes.
in junior high, there was occasionally Indian chick floating around.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Not Miss India?
Something happened. I don't know if they started a program. I don't know. It's all the lightning cream. I don't know what they're doing over there, but something.
They got the
It's
game.
working.
Indian was unattractive and weird when I was in the 7th grade, and now it's hot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on. I don't know. I feel like my thing with I'd like to talk maybe the UN about this, but I'd be like, hey, Sweden, you guys have basically been flatlining since the Swedish bikini team hit the pages of Playboy in 1991. And were they even from Sweden? No. I don't even think so. I mean, there was more dudes in the Thunder from Down Under. They're actually from
I'll get to you in a second, Australia.
Kaylin, at some point, put up a picture of Priyanka Chopra and Frida Pinto.
Yeah,
they're unbelievable.
That's my point. I've talked to the Netherlands. I've talked to Scotland and Ireland.
Watch your backs.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this?
Yeah.
Look at India. Let me show you some pictures from 1971.
Well, don't they have one of the densest population? I mean, there's bound to be a few hotties in there.
Maybe we were just
Good
skimming
analysis.
We were just skimming the cream.
Yeah,
the darker colored cream off the top and shipping it out to California or United States.
I'm all for it.
They're hotter.
Yeah.
So they got hot.
So yes, Gina, she was very stunning.
Okay, good. Just making sure we're all on the same page.
Well, and spoiler alert, she won.
And that was the
cat girl?
But that was on his card. Was the thing. Do the animal.
Yeah, and that I mean, obviously, like that question, even you could kind of hear it in his voice. It sounded a little cooked or like
I don't want to
almost,
like
right?
that's what they put here.
I don't want to look. Steve is a seasoned comedian. You got to know that the writing staff of the Miss Universe, those are amongst the hackiest guys that you're ever going to assemble. When they go for funny, it's going to be a disaster.
I know.
So
like half an hour to punch that up.
Or just sit in your hotel room the night before and like comb through it. Now, I don't know if there's rules that he doesn't have. He's not privy to it, but he should do a quick perusing of those questions and cross out a couple.
But
I sent them my Blandino's jokes. I'm waiting for a callback.
I thought you were going to say there's a big controversy because she lost, and they're like, well, look at the softball question she got, but she won. She won?
Well, here, let's go to the next part because this isn't over.
Oh boy.
Yeah, more fuckery is afoot. So here is Steve announcing a winner.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Look at that jacket.
Portugal. Yes. Well, y'all said Portugal. They
Paraguay.
wrote Portugal on the damn sign trying to play me again. They're trying to get me again.
So they wrote
but I'm
it
not going for it this
on his
year.
card.
Congratulations, Paraguay. They had Portugal on the damn sign.
Well, I don't
Poor
know.
Portugal.
I need to see that. I need to see
Trying
the
to blame
sign.
this on me this year.
Paraguay's pretty damn hot too.
Oh, yeah. She looks like a cross between Anne Hathaway and Brooke Shields.
Yeah, I may switch my Indian thing to at the UN. Paraguay's really got their shit together, but
I think you could. Yeah,
they started off a little hotter. You know what I mean? So they didn't have to make up as much ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Paraguay gets most valuable player,
Right.
but most improved, India.
Right.
When I'm handing out the
the medals.
the trophies,
Yeah.
right? And in
fair.
Sweden, here's
get
another
it.
participation trophy. I don't
Yeah.
know how many years you want to do this charade.
You're embarrassing yourselves.
Well, Miss India is India's first winner in 21 years.
Oh,
Oh, really?
I guess they were hot 21 years ago. We just didn't know.
Yeah, but I don't think we had as many hotties. Now I feel like they're all hot.
Isn't Padma Indian? Padma Lakshmi?
She's hot.
Maybe.
She's super hot.
There's
Frida Pinto.
There's
Oh,
the
my God.
there's the Jonas brother wife.
Yep, that's
right?
Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
Priyanka's in the dress thing and Frida's in the swimsuit thing.
And Prada, she can cook too, right? Is
No,
that her
that's
thing?
Padma.
Padma's the cook.
She's the
But
top
no,
chef.
she's the
critic.
taster.
Yeah,
She's
I don't
not
know.
the
I don't know
cook.
about her cooking skills, but she's a food critic.
That's
and
a good
judge.
point. How'd she get that job?
She was the host of Top Chef, but she would eat along with
How'd you get
the
that
judges
job?
too. I don't know.
I don't know.
And I don't care.
I don't know that we can really quantify cooking as well as we can do like certified welders and stuff like that. Anyone can kind of claim they're always in the kitchen, always cooking or whatever, and that's enough when you're hot.
Right.
To get the pass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did we know that Padma Lakshmi was married to Salman Rushdie for 3 years?
Sounds familiar.
No, but
I'm saying she's single.
I feel bad for the guy who
And she's Indian.
who throws a super formal dinner party where he invites all these cool, notable people, but he's had a couple of cocktails and he has to announce the arrival.
boy.
Like, and now Mr. Padma,
Mouse Pad.
we are serving salmon, but let's
Patty
not
and Sam, everyone.
Shaman Ruski. Shit, here they are. Come on in. Here, you know what? Here's your name tags. Just introduce yourselves, please.
Don't be
That would
shy.
a fucking mouthful to put those two. Like who were coming with the Rowskis and the Pat. What's her last name?
Lakshmi.
The Lakshmis and the Rowski. Ask Letterman how to say it. Fuck.
Her full name is Padma Parvati Lakshmi Vaidyanathan.
Yeah, that's a
we're talking.
handful there.
Oofa, look at that pic.
Yes.
What happened to her and Salmon?
And it says they were married the 2004 to 2007.
There you go.
Well, that's the guy to marry.
Yeah.
Salman Rushdie?
Why?
Well, because you want to marry somebody who already had a hit put
A
out
bounty
on
on
them,
his
right? Because if the sex dries up and they're talking about taking you in for half of everything you own, all of a sudden they find him in the tub or something. You go, oh, come on, man.
It's a fucking book, man.
Fucking Al Qaeda. Look it up. This guy was running serpentine to the mailbox long before I met him. They finally caught up to him.
That's shrewd.
Good for him.
That's
Do they
good.
kill people? Does the terrorists, do they kill people with curling irons? Well, this one did.
They send a message, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
That's a Balls reference. In India, we make it's customary.
Boy, he scored there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outkick the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
Looks familiar.
All right.
Well, anyway, so that's Steve Harvey. Let's move over to J.K. Rowling. So she right now she's trending because she responded to an article posted by the Times London, which said that police in Scotland said that they're now going to log rapes as being carried out by a woman if the accused person insists, even if they haven't legally changed their gender, that they identify as a woman.
Wait,
Right.
what?
I know.
We read that again.
So
So
the
if
rape,
if
someone
I
gets-
Is
if I
this,
rape
is this
somebody,
so rampant that it has to be announced?
it's got to be tough for the prosecutor because, like, we looked at the contents of the rape kit and we found this gal's semen all over the.
yeah.
Okay. She said, "I'm going to take my penis out and
Yes.
use it as a weapon,"
The
and
old
then
woman.
the
Who did now?
Yeah.
The gentleman who raped the woman?
Yeah,
Well,
according to the log, that's a skin tag.
Yes. First off, there is no such thing. Everything is a system that needs to be gamed, if you think about it. And I look no further than service dogs. You know what I mean? There is such a thing. And then people went, how's this work again? And they went, well, you just get a note, and then you can fly with your dog for free. And
Free.
all of a sudden, it went from, when Dr. Drew and I would travel in the late 90s almost every weekend, it went from 0 dogs in the airport, except for the ones that work for the cops, to a whole bunch of dogs at the airport. How'd that happen? Well, there was a system, and they worked it. And if you were thinking about going to prison for rape, you would much rather go into a woman's prison than a male's prison because they're a little tough on the dudes over there, but the ladies not so much. So we have a thing in California where there's a whole bunch of dudes trying to go into the women's prison because who wouldn't? Now you can go, what percentage of those dudes are women or think they're women or can be certified as women? I don't know. It's always it's like how many dogs at the airport are actual server? How many people who got notes to get pot from their doctor 10 years ago were actually had glaucoma? Sure. We'll never know. It's a small amount versus the group that is catching on. There's nothing, people that break the law in criminals in general, they catch on to shit long before we do. There's a system. So now there's this. But she got into trouble because...
Well, so J.K. Rowling, that turf, she said, she tweeted, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength," which is quoted from 1984. It was the slogan for the party in a newspeak. And then she added on to it, "And the penis individual who raped you is a woman." And then now everybody, that was her response to
trouble.
Yeah, so she...
I love this. I love her because this is the definition of fuck me money.
Oh yeah, yeah. People are responding like, you literally live in a castle, and this is what you're spending your time doing. Like, this is the hill you want to die on.
Well, she got battered around earlier with the whole gender thing, and now she's leaning into it.
She somebody tweeted something, and they used the word "people who menstruate," and she responded, "I'm sure there used to be a word for people who menstruate. Someone help me out. Wumbin, wumpun, wumud."
I love this woman.
Yeah, I know you love her.
I'm such a fan. I like anyone who does fuck you about it. I love any fuck me money. I'm a big fan of fuck me money.
Yeah, so she's
got it.
But she's under heat. So I mean, she should just start taking her mail.
But
from
I'm
the
still
cornfield.
assuming that the end game for the guy who rapes as an identified woman wants to go to a woman's prison, or it's just a better.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know if they technically go to a woman's prison if they do that, but I know that people are freaking out because it's going to warp like the statistics of rapes.
Oh, I was about to say, what's
and like the information.
I was about to say, what's the end game? Because you're still getting charged and assume you're going to be prosecuted for rape.
Going
whether you're a man or a woman.
to a woman's prison
You're tried as you're tried as a woman.
Game.
Yeah,
I'd rather go to a women's prison.
oh, of course.
How many rapes by women raping men do you think ever see the light of day?
I mean, as we used to know it.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about not many, I'm guessing, it's a secret shame we all carry with us. And we also brag about it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a fine line.
Yeah.
I have a secret shame that I brag about a lot.
Right.
I think there is a form of a natural consent, which might be called a boner.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now it's
Speaks to intent, as Garagos would say.
But when you're talking about molesting boys, then you're like, they can't control that. Like, you're taking advantage of a natural reaction that isn't.
Yeah, I seem to recall there was a semi-famous case of a guy. I don't.
Men's advocate.
Wasn't like an. Wasn't
In some
like
ways,
a.
I am curious.
Wasn't like an A-lister, but someone was in the news. 10 years, 15 years ago, talking about getting raped. You know what this was? I think this was male on male, but the guy still needed to have a boner. These are adult males. He still needed to get a little magic in the wand.
Interesting.
As
So we're
my
back to Harry
pappy
Potter.
used to
Yeah, right.
say.
We're gonna need like a boner black box to prove, the
recording.
how erect we were.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's actually the B plot of the latest Curb. I don't know if you've seen it yet. The Curb
I've
Your
not
Enthusiasm.
seen it yet.
It's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Little Larry.
Yeah.
How would you feel if a hot supermodel took advantage of you in high school? They'd name the school after me.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't the latest
Oh,
one.
it
That's
wasn't?
the one.
Well, there's one last night. That's why it's not the
yeah.
latest
I
one.
hadn't seen it yet.
That was the one before, but
Yeah.
no, I'd been making this joke for a while, which is, the hot Florida blonde teacher, and the 16-year-old and whatever.
Deborah LaFave.
Yeah, I could win every case for my client. Like I could beat the state and the prosecutor every single time because I just put the kid and I'd go, you're on the stand, you're under oath. You understand? You're under oath. This alleged rape, this trauma, this horrible atrocity that was perpetrated upon you. You ever beat off to it?
May I remind you?
You're under oath. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I talked to many victims of arson, victims of robbery, strong arm robbery,
Muggings.
beatings.
Yeah.
I've never, 27 years as prosecutor,
Burn
as a defending attorney, ever heard of someone masturbating to being pistol whipped at an ATM. But yet, we have an alleged victim here who rubs one out to this crime that happened to him.
Question mark?
Checkmate.
All right, I rest.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
You beat off to it.
Yeah.
Your
You
Honor,
would
we don't have to deliberate.
There is no such thing as a 16-year-old who's banging their teacher that did not beat off to it at some point along the way. This is 3 years later. You know what I mean? Have to.
Nope.
And then I would pull the records of his spank bank
Oh.
just to freak him out.
Look at that file.
Subpoena. Yeah.
Penis.
He'd be like, "No, I never." If he wouldn't crack, then
Right.
I just go, "Well, let me enter this into record." And I'd pull out a manila folder and say,
Making a withdrawal.
subpoenaed your spank bank records, and then he'd crack.
Yeah.
immediately.
Okay, all right. right.
Right.
That's good.
Speaking of Indian girls getting a lot hotter, teachers that bang their students, real hot. Like I've been seeing all the posts about. Oh yeah, another case of a teacher
still
getting with.
happening?
Oh my god, it
no
happens
shit.
all the time. And you see the teacher, and you're just like, how?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Do you think there's a porno because like a teaching assistant, like a TA? She's like, I'm your TNA.
That would be a good name
You guys
for a
can
porno.
use that. Yeah.
I'm not hearing that again.
Yeah, look, all we're doing is everyone is just acting inappropriately now. It's either airplanes or banging your teacher. Like it's all. We're fist fighting
Yeah, it's on.
in the Costco's. Everything's just a shit show.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't this
Scream
be a
at the
shit
Trader
show?
Joe's employees.
Yes, it's just everything is a shit show.
Yeah.
This is just more of a shit show. You know what I mean?
It's another branch.
I'd like to do a long-term study of the guys who got laid in high school, like bang their teachers. I feel like they'd be Fortune 500 guys, you know what I mean? Successful businessmen, attorneys. I feel like you get a little personal momentum. Like when I was in high school, I was writing song parodies about my friend's big dick. So I was kind of doing the opposite.
Yeah, you're on the other side.
of banging the hot teacher.
Well, you're hyping them up for the teachers, though.
I was
right.
writing odes to my friends.
You were grooming
Wait, man,
them.
ever.
Yeah, exactly.
If there was anyone even remotely hot at your school in an authority position, I think Ray would have banged him.
Yeah, we had
Him.
We had them. We had Mrs. Wolk. That was kind of a no-fly zone. There's Mr. Spaeth. He was pretty old. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of hotness. I mean, Mr. Bernal came in here. He was pretty
He
good
was
looking.
great, yeah.
He was good looking
Easy on
dude.
the eyes.
I had some
Yeah.
high school teachers recently, like that I had in high
Recently.
school, but recently got convicted or accused and things like that.
Really?
And I knew a college professor of mine that
Really?
totally got with the students.
I
Yeah.
knew one high school teacher and 2 college professors.
Sure.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, college kind of the
Because back in our day, we just thought it was kind of weird. And now we're like, oh, that was assault. We didn't even realize it.
Yeah, well, look no further than Animal House. It was all spelled out
That's right.
there. All right, Adrianne Curry is queued up for us.
Right.
You want to bring it home, Max Spada?
Yeah, check out the water cooler and Carolla Classics.
His real name's
All right, let me tell you about the X Chair. It's the holidays. You deserve a gift. How about the one that keeps giving comfort and joy every day? It looks great. It feels great. It pays for itself in terms of productivity and comfort. X Chair, I absolutely love mine. I'm sitting on mine right now. I bought them before they were a sponsor. I had one years ago just at the desk at home. Not only is X-Chair the world's greatest office chair, but with its patented LMX technology, it also has a massage and cool, and it'll warm your back as well. Can your office chair do all that? I didn't think so. And now's the perfect time to get an X-Chair. Buy early. And again, you want to talk about something good and practical that people can use every day? Get that X-Chair, right, Dawson?
Save $100 on your X-Chair just for purchase. Here's X-Chair's holiday gift to you. Save $100 on your X-Chair just by purchasing it at xchairadam.com. Now that's the letter X, chair, ADAM.com. X-Chair has a 30-day guarantee of complete comfort, and you can finance your purchase with as little as $30 a month. Go to xchairadam.com and save. xchairadam.com.
All right, we'll be back with the winner of the first season of America's Next Top Model, and she's got a lot to say. I'm very interested in talking to my old friend Adrianne Curry right after this.
And now, a totally innocuous word that sounds dirty when Mike Dawson says it.
Snowball.
Ew. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Well, Adrianne Curry has joined us. I haven't talked to Adrianne since I don't know. You came into the morning radio show with ex-husband Christopher Knight from the Brady Bunch a million years ago. That's my vague recollection. Good to see you again, Adrianne Curry.
Nice to see you.
Are you in Montana right now?
I am deep in Montana right now.
Oh, I was told we were both on the match game together, but God, I didn't jar my memory. Do you remember us doing the match game together?
I do, only because Betty White had the worst mouth of anyone I've ever met, and it was hilarious. And then I think you and I did something like this where it was remote for Dr. Drew's show. I don't remember if it was on CNN or something.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. As you get older, your memory fades and then your experiences grow. So
yes,
they're fighting both of us. So, Adrianne, much to talk about with you. Start off life modeling. How's that come about? Where do you grow up?
I grew up in Joliet, Illinois, which is a southern suburb of Chicago. I don't know if you remember a famous duo, Joliet Jake and Elwood Blues.
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Prison Town. Yeah. So, tried out for America's Next Top Model when I was 20 years old, and I won it. Who would have thought? It's kind of like winning the lottery. That's my story. Like, I didn't fight tooth and nail to become a model. I stumbled upon this fluke, which ended up being a pretty big thing.
And then what happened? What was your experience like in Hollywood after that?
I mean, what is everyone's experience in Hollywood? A bunch of fake friends and fake everything. I had a fake first marriage, starter marriage, all that kind of fun stuff. But basically, you hit 30 and you realize, as a model, what are you supposed to do? Marry a billionaire and bear their children? Like, that seems to be pretty much the thing they all do, and that's not what I wanted.
So what? It's kind of interesting because as a guy, you're not. I mean, some guys are, but most guys, you're not sort of physically sought after. I've been working in Hollywood for a long time, but I don't really have fake friends because they're not trying to fuck me. I mean, financially, of course, Gimmel's always trying to fuck me over, but I mean, physically, unless he gets drunk. No, so you kind of, it's a little bit of a meritocracy. They want to be with the funny people or the whatever people. But if you're, young and you're hot and you just won a big modeling competition, everyone knows you are, then you're not sure why people are approaching you, for good reasons or for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I wasn't willing to play the game, which agents and managers weren't very happy with, because in Hollywood, people's managers contact you to date them. And I was just like, what is this? Like, I'm from a blue collar town in the Midwest, 2 factory working parents. And I'm like, wait a minute, we haven't even met. And you're just going to call someone I work with to like hook us up. It was so creepy and weird. My profile.
Yeah, I was going to go on. Well, I was going to ask, I'd always heard about these stories about the agent calls on behalf or the manager calls on behalf, but would they at least use some code, like, say, go out to lunch and talk about a project, or would they just flat out ask for a date?
I think it was either ask for a date or they would ask me to walk a red carpet with them, which I felt would signal, hey, she's having sex with this guy. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. And it's just this like fame game, like climbing the ladder. And I failed miserably at it because I wasn't interested in it. So, I mean, I just didn't do it. I was with one famous guy. It didn't work out. And I moved on, and that was it. And pretty much my rule was like, if you're involved in entertainment, I want nothing to do with you. So my manager wasn't very thrilled with that.
And asking to walk a red carpet with someone they've never met that happens to be gorgeous is not that far from escort work. That's more offensive than going on a date, I think.
Well, this is funny and fortuitous because I got a call from I got a long text from John Popper from Blues Traveler a couple days ago.
To walk the red carpet?
Had a long drive last night, and I was like, I'm just going to call him and catch up. And I called him, and I started we started talking about songs, and we was talking about ended up talking about the Dixie Chicks, and I said, well, Natalie Maines just did ask me to escort her to the Grammys one year, and then I went on to tell the joke that Jimmy played on me, the practical joke, which delighted the shit out of John Popper because he wasn't familiar with that story. If you've never heard that story before, it's fucking epic. But I was like, I'd had that happen to me.
That's true. I've
been on the losing end.
Oh, man, I'd been on the winning end, honestly.
I think
if not for the practical joke.
Now, does that count, Gina? Like, how does that work?
That's a good question. Ian, maybe it's just my own societal biases. Yeah. I think there's a big difference between asking a young, gorgeous model to, be on your arm than a plucky young singer to
ask
a
Adrianne
comedian.
Curry. I don't know. Nata's pretty hot.
She is. My sympathy goes to Adrianne, not you.
Okay. Well, mine's going to me. That's me. Should have banged her.
Good job. High five. Like, if you're a guy, that's awesome that a chick has asked you to walk a red carpet to signal that you guys are an item. Why not? But yeah, like if I was a dude, maybe I'd be wired differently, but I'm not. So I was just not interested in that. Like, who wants it to look like you have all these notches in your belt that you don't have? No, thank you.
No, I completely agree, because I would like society at large to think I was banging the lead singer of the Dixie Chicks.
Naturally.
But you go down there with the guy from Collective Soul. Or
random pull.
Jars of clay or puddle of mud or something, then they're going to think you're banging that guy, which you don't want. Yeah. So I never flipped the script on. So
puddle of mud.
Can you drop any names of anyone we may have heard of who may have rung you up? It's not an indictment of the person. It's more of a salute to your beauty.
I don't want to drop names, but let's just say huge rock stars, once they've played the field and probably gotten every STD on earth, well, they start hitting up models when they hit 30 for breeding purposes and marriage. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of those that people would be like, I know that dude. So yeah, like they start having their people call you. And I'm just like, how weak, dude? You can't get a hold of me? Like, you got to have your guy do it. Get out of here.
Yeah. It is weird. It's a weird, and I agree. This is scuzzy, I guess. But on the other hand, it's always a weird thing of some women. Like, I'll give you an example. You and Gina can answer. If you ask at the end of a date a woman, "Can I kiss you?" Some go, "Oh, that's so respectful," and the other go, "That's weak sauce. Like that's some pussy shit there. Like I just plan it on me or go for it or whatever. Why are you removing the spontaneity?" Then the other's gonna go, "Well, that's a forward-thinking guy who doesn't want to do anything without consent." So you take the same action, and it can be bad or it can be good, depending on who's receiving the information.
That's true.
We're also talking about a new generation, you know what I mean? Like, the answer today might be different than the answer 20 years ago.
Well, where are you on asking for a kiss, Adrianne?
If a guy asks me for a kiss, I find that incredibly respectful. My husband and I now went on 14 dates before our first kiss.
What?
And,
wow.
Yep. That's right.
They're all in the same afternoon.
I'm an ice queen. At first, he didn't even know we were dating, but I was looking for a husband. So I think it depends on the level of feminist psychopath on how she reacts, which I'm not a big fan of feminism because of this emasculation of men, and everything they do is wrong. And it's just like, I don't know. As a female, I know most of what I do is catty and vindictive. So I have no room to talk about.
Well, I know you're married to a bit of a mountain man, right?
I am. He's actually in the American League of Mountain Men.
Literally.
Wow.
Yes. He's 6'6", big old boy.
Big John.
Yeah.
Big bad John.
I listened to that last night.
How does one gain acceptance into that league?
Well, you have to survive outdoors, I think, for 3 days straight with nothing outside of anything I think that was acceptable in like 1835. So you can't use any modern stuff. Yeah.
Oh, I like this.
Yeah, my husband actually went to an immersive school in Maine for 60 something days. I didn't see him living in the woods and like learning how to survive. So basically, if the apocalypse comes, we're ready. We're just going to go deeper in the mountains and wave goodbye to society.
Yes. Or as he knows the experience, 67 days of banging Adrianne's best friend.
Jesus.
No, I actually stayed alone. Like I live very remote, very remote. Like if I want to go out to eat to a really low bar restaurant, that's going to be 35 to 40-minute drive without snow.
Wow.
So yeah, like there is no delivery to my house. I don't get mail. It's a 15-minute drive to my mailbox.
Well, listen, I love all this shit. I'm with you. I'm old school. I'm also from a couple things. My base is working on a construction site. And when you work on a construction site, you have framers and you have foundation guys, you have drywallers, you have HVAC guys, you have electricians, you have plumbers, you have roofers.
We get it. You love construction.
I love that everyone knows a trade because it's helpful in the project.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this notion of
Ocean's 11.
Yeah, right. And you go, well, this guy, he can hunt, and if there's trouble, he can take the guy down. He knows how to use his hands, or he can fix things around the house, and she can do X, Y, and Z. That's just when you both just have a bun in your hair, and neither one of you does anything but make vegan-based desserts or something. There's not... It's hard.
What are you going to do?
I like that. We're trying to get rid of that. I don't know why we want to get rid of that. I like roles.
I agree with that completely. I'm in a I used to be a crazy feminist psychopath, as I said before, where I felt that emasculating men somehow made me feel better. And then I met a real man and I fit very comfortably in my role as a woman, and we have a traditional marriage. Like he is the man of the house, and it's not because he demanded it, but I gave it to him, and we're just trying to learn how to homestead. I got 18 chickens outside. We're going to build a greenhouse. It's good. And he knows how to hunt.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I like when something I like some rules and some guidelines, you know. And I like the certification of nothing after like 1835 or something like that, because things get a little murky about what the rules are. I just go, if it didn't exist before this, you can use it. Or
can you bring a slave with you into the wilderness?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It existed before 1835.
You can't bring one if you discover a runaway slave. Some black guy camping. You're like, all right, good, come with me.
Come with me.
Hold my pack.
Well, technically, where we are today, depending on what nation we go to, we could still have a slave right now today. Like we could go to China. How many do you want?
That's a good point.
Adrianne Curry is in favor of slavery.
I like doing some vintage automotive racing, and the biggest race they have in the world is probably the Goodwood Festival or the Goodwood Revival, and their cutoff is 1965.
Oh, sure. So they got to have a standard.
We'll take any cars, but if it was made in 1966, it's not in the race.
Wait till next year.
Yeah, it makes things very definable.
Yeah.
So your husband, is he outdoors right now, or what's he doing? Skinning something?
I have no idea where he is, but I wouldn't be surprised if I looked outside and it's happened before where a huge tree just falls over. And I'm like, okay, that's where he is. But he's outdoors a lot, but so am I. Like, what a shame it would be to live in the Rocky Mountains and not be outside and enjoying it. And being raised in the Midwest in Chicago, I love winter. So we get 6 to 7 months of it straight here. I'm on cloud 9.
Are there bears? Far be it for me to give your husband any survival tips, but I will tell him a worthless survival tip that people give when they're confronted by a bear. So Max Pattis, somebody I think tweeted me a couple days ago that there's footage of a bear on someone's lawn and it's fighting a giant inflatable like reindeer.
I want to see that.
Somebody took like the big inflatable stuff. The stuff, by the way, speaking of China, the shit you can do to your house for Christmas is, when I was a kid, it was like 3 light bulbs, and if one of them was out, nothing else worked.
And you had the same one every year. They still have practically disposable.
Yeah, like a little spray on snow, spray that on the mailboxes, and now they're having full inflatable Christmas snow globes and everything. But somebody tweeted me this. I think
we're getting it. Yeah, we found it.
Bear attacking a inflatable reindeer. Now, the inflatable reindeer's 9 feet tall, and it's
giving him a run for his money.
The bear's
quietly.
The bear's not doing this because it's a Jewish bear and he hates Christmas. He thinks this thing is a giant reindeer.
Inglourious Basterds, the Jew bear.
That's right, the Jew bear.
The bear Jew.
That's right, the bear Jew.
Oh, wow.
This is in Monrovia.
Monrovia, California?
Oh, that's where Cars from.
This is up the street.
Look how tiny that bear looks.
Monrovia is 11 miles from here. And it's this bear that when he gets up on his hind legs, the giant Rudolph is still 6 feet taller than he, but he's attacking it.
He's attempting to provide a meal for his children.
Yeah, it's a mama bear. Oh, there's another bear, too.
Right.
There's another bear watching.
Which is awesome.
Get him!
But if you go...
Sweep the leg.
And by the way, this should be on the commercial for whoever manufactures
this
reindeer, because so
is-
far hasn't lost any air.
Takes a licking. Look at that thing.
Claws.
Pops right back up.
If you show it right at the beginning, you'll show the bear rears back, and
It's fine.
Thing's much bigger than the bear is, but the bear's still going at him with the claws. I mean,
That's
look at him.
crazy.
Okay. Now, Adrian.
So what's your advice?
Well, here's my advice. They always say, and you probably got some bears in your neck of the woods, right? And
we got grizzly, black bear. We have mountain lions on the game cans, Canadian lynx, moose, elk. Everything.
You're right. So here's the deal. They go, when you're being attacked by a bear, they run you down.
Yeah.
You got to make yourself bigger.
That's right.
You got to fluff yourself up.
Yeah.
Big. And that's like, first off, guys who camp a lot, do a lot of trekking through the wilderness, they're like the free climb guys. They're fit guys.
I was going to say, our husband's already 6'6".
He is already big. But your average guy's trucking through the wilderness, that guy's a $157, 5'10". How much can you really blow yourself up to be appearance-wise? You know what I mean? Without eating.
Backpack on top of your head, maybe you get another 8 inches.
Maybe get up on your toes.
Yeah.
So you're a skinny, tall guy.
Put your arms out a little bit, puff up your cheeks.
Yeah.
If you're just loud about it, they don't want to be around you 98% of the time. Like, we're just loud. So when we go walking around, we're like, hey, bear, every so often to make sure you scare them off. But I also have a huge canister of bear spray.
Yeah.
And
That's
a 350
what I'm
Dog
saying.
the bounty hunter.
and a 357 Magnum.
That's what I'm talking about. That's right.
Yeah.
The whole deal is use the Magnum first and then
Finish
hit the
them
bear
off.
with the spray after it's dead.
A spray finish.
That's what the real outdoorsman. But
Oh my gosh.
here's my argument. That inflatable reindeer was 7 times as big as that bear. You want to talk about puffing yourself
Yeah,
up?
how'd that work
He
out?
puffed the shit out of himself up with an air compressor. Didn't slow that bear's roll
That was a 9 by 9
whatsoever.
foot reindeer.
More fucking meat for me. So I'm a blow.
Venison.
I have long since not liked this theory. I've never been able to prove it.
Now,
It's chronicled. Puffing yourself up never helped.
They don't
never
give
slowed
two
down a
shits.
bear. The 357. Oh yeah.
If it's mating season or you run into a sow with cubs, it is bad news for you.
You're getting DiCaprio.
Yeah,
That's right.
revenanted.
Oh, DiCaprio. What a horrible scene.
Did you? How good are you with the Magnum?
Oh, I am a sick shot. I am really good with a revolver. I prefer revolvers. My husband's awesome with rifles and Glocks, and we have a collection. That's what we do. We collect firearms, but I love my old school revolvers. I just feel, I don't know, it's like an extension of me.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting as I've given this some thought. There are people, even though it seems a little antiquated, that like the positive action of the revolver, like this, you can see it working, you
analog.
can feel it.
Mechanical.
Yeah, the analog version. I don't know. It's the people like a stick shift versus an automatic, but I don't know anything about guns. Probably don't jam up as fast and that kind of stuff. But
well, if you shoot it limp wristed, it's not going to jam up. Whereas a Glock, if you're shooting it limp wristed, you're going to jam it immediately. So in a situation of a huge grizzly coming at your face, that would probably really suck. And I can't promise that in fear, I wouldn't limp wrist a Glock. Plus, you need something big enough. And my 357 with bear loads is like the bare minimum on taking out a grizzly. And it might not. So
it's ironic that limp wristing a Glock sounds super gay.
But that's the way to
but
go.
It's really the straightest
Yeah.
position to be in. Yeah.
I have to imagine that as far out as you are and as good a shot as I'm sure both you are, you do a lot of hunting and providing your own meat.
Yes. So he does the hunting. I think next year I'm going to do it because I need to man up, get some hair on my chest and check it out instead of having him do it all the time. But we also our chickens are dual purpose. So they lay eggs and you can eat them as well. And with most things, the females taste the best. But I mean, you've got bear hunting out here, turkey hunting, pheasant, you got it all.
How do you feel about cleaning it?
I watch it all the time. I don't know if it's morbid or something, but as a woman, before all the filleting starts, there's something very intriguing about the snoot and the long eyelashes of Bambi. So to get to see it up close, I'm like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And you appreciate the animal. And my husband uses everything. He even like brain tans the hides so that he uses the brains of the animal to tan the hides like the Native Americans did. Yeah.
How does brain, that's another gay term. Brain tanning. Went to a stall with this dude at Mr. Fisher. Got a full brain tanning. Gave me the limp Glock. Turned around, gave him the brain tanning. Oh, yeah.
Brain tan is hide.
That's right. What size Magnum did he have? Hey, man, no glove, no love. Sorry.
It's cheaper than the grocery store. That is for sure. So it's pretty awesome to be able to provide a large amount of meat to last you throughout the year that isn't hit with inflation.
How does one, I want to talk about brain tanning. I don't know how this, I'm from North Hollywood. And then the other thing is I have some, it sounds like you guys were probably sane during COVID while everyone else was going insane, but we'll get to that. How does one brain tan a hide?
I'll be honest with you. That's the one part that kind of grosses me out. So as he's doing everything else, like he keeps the head of the animal and he's not really into trophy hunting, which I have mad respect for because I'm not a fan of it. But then he goes digging in the cranium and he gets the brains, and it's something about like smearing it all over the skin with some sort of concoction. Mm-hmm. And he's done it to a few things, and I'm like, good for you. But the brain part, I'm going to go inside. I'll see you later. He also eats the heart and pan fries it on my stove.
Damn!
Of everything he takes out. Yeah.
He's like Jason Momoa from Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
It was all it was chronicled in Red Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Had to drink the cup of the blood of the first deer they shot.
Jesus. Well, and I have this here, brain tanning, the ancient art of preserving animal hides using the emulsifying agents in the brain matter.
It's also a nice threat to yell at a neighbor. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's uniquely qualified. You fucking turn that stereo down, dude. I'll give your ass a brain tanning right on my fucking lawn. Not that you have neighbors, but it's ass kicking.
Yeah, that's right. Brain tanning. I only came
it's
here.
an ancient art. Come on,
it actually
Google
took me
shit.
2 years to meet my neighbors because they're quite a ways away. And then we're like, oh, hey. Yeah. So now we know each other. And, the closest hospital is over an hour and a half away. So you kind of got to look out for each other and
sounds like a threat.
Make sure if things get bad, you want to be able to help each other out. If I dialed 911, I'm sure the cops will be here by tomorrow. But I hear some cities have that issue too.
Yeah, you're talking about LA anyway.
Well, now it makes me think. This all look. I've been saying this when COVID started. I was like, people, you need to go outside. You need to go to the garage. You need to put things together. You got to brain tan a deer.
Yeah.
You check the tape. I was saying, like, you got to convene with nature. You got to do things for yourself. You have to get engaged. We're all watching too much CNN, and everyone's going fucking nuts. And it strikes me that you guys have been living a pre-COVID sane life, but probably not impacted like the rest of crazy America with COVID.
They've been living a pre-industrial revolution life.
We have legit sat here and watch society collectively lose their minds, and we'll have people visit us. I just had a friend from LA, and it was like she was married to this mask on her face, and I'm like, there is nobody around us for like 25 miles. You're outside in the Rocky Mountains with a freaking mask on your face. Like, you're insane, lady. Like, you got to take it off. It's okay, you can breathe here. But I mean, when COVID first hit, honestly, before we knew what it was and we thought it was some flesh-eating bacteria that was going to kill us all, I looked at my husband and, we're kind of preppers and we're like, it's go time. And we like sealed off the driveway and we were ready. We're like, let's do this. Like, we've fortified our house so we could connect our well to our pipes, pressurized, and still have running water if we have no electricity. We have a full house generator that would probably power our fridge and freezers for like a year. If we didn't use any power. We've got the wood stove. So we were equipped and ready, but then it wasn't the apocalypse, but everyone would call us, oh, we're going to come there. And I'm like, I didn't work all hard for you to come here and sit on your lazy butt and eat all my, reserves. Get out of here.
It's the Three Little Pigs.
No.
I know, Brian.
This is not what I was going to say, but it made me think, like, those of us who have like emergency kits out here in California, I think we secretly hope we'll never have to use them. But like preppers, I'm not saying you are, but like those who are, like, I think secretly hope like the shit does go down, because then they can use the bunker and the meat and the well and whatever. Like, there's definitely people who are
you don't want it to happen. You don't want people to get hurt. You don't want to be in that situation. But if you have to be, you also don't want to die. And I think if COVID taught us anything, watching people claw at each other's faces over masks, toilet paper, and water, is like, we're on a tightrope of being civil to each other. And it doesn't take much for the circus act to start,
Well, that was my actual question. Sorry. I saw, maybe I'm overstepping, but I saw a couple of upside down flags in the background, which is like your distress signal. I'm wondering, well, what's the significance?
Have you, paid attention to our government in any way for the last 25 years?
I don't feel in distress, but I mean, maybe you do.
That's because we're covered in items made by human rights violations to make us very comfortable, because our government and the corporations that run our country is so evil. And now we have cognitive dissonance where we don't care that we torture human beings in other countries, so long as we're comfortable here. So you don't feel like you're in distress.
No, you're right.
But if we're supposed to be the greatest nation on earth, destroying the middle class, enriching only the rich, wealthy political elite during COVID, which we all saw, the gaslighting from the news, like, they're not, for me, I am not represented in my government. They take all my money, but there's not a single person there that I trust in any way. So I always implore everybody, get involved in your local politics, because that's what's supposed to happen, not career politicians, not people with experience. Like, that's never what it was supposed to be. It's supposed to be everyday people like you and me. And because that doesn't happen anymore, we have watched the collapse of what could have been the freest, most amazing nation in the world. And I still have hope for it, but we have to wake up to what we've allowed some of the elite in our country to do. And most of it is like Nike factories. Just look at that. That's not okay.
That's fair. I agree.
It's funny. I can see the flags in the background as well, but I'm so dumb that I didn't know they were upside down because they're cropped. but the stars
You thought they were
take up
missing
the
some-
same amount as the bars,
Right.
and I wasn't able to do the math. Yeah, interesting times. I feel like there is an exodus of people in cities, talking about, I grew up in LA. There was no such thing as people talking about moving to Montana.
No.
When I was growing up, that was a sitcom premise,
Right.
Now, almost everyone I talk to is talking about going somewhere that's got some outdoor space. And
I can give you a list right now of the fastest growing cities in America.
please.
LA number one.
Yeah, and LA did not make the list.
Oh.
Salt Lake City, Utah, Indianapolis, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, Boise City, Idaho, Springfield, Massachusetts, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Akron, Ohio, Greenville, South Carolina, Kansas City, Missouri, and Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, people, maybe it was a snobbery, but you had to live in LA, had to live in whatever. But there's also a practical side of it, which is, I don't know, everything everyone wants is in the palm of their hand with their phone now. Like, we used to think you couldn't get entertainment, you know what I mean? Like, you wouldn't be privy to, you'd be missing all these things. And now everyone can go everywhere. And as we kind of discussed, cars are so goddamn good now that you can drive a lot of these to a lot of places. You certainly got Southwest Airlines. You can fly Jet Suite X. Like, it's just not what it was. Like I said, if you got a P.F. Chang's, I will consider you as a possible destination. Is there P.F. Chang's by you guys up in the hills of Montana there?
No, there's nothing.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
If I want a fancy date, I will have my husband drive me an hour and a half into the closest city, and there is no P.F. Chang's. I don't have a drive-through in my little town here.
What is a big night out? Like, what is the nicest? Any Michelin rated? Or it's just Michelin snow tires? What is the best restaurant you can go to?
Well, I've always been a great cook, but now I've gone into overload because I make breakfast, lunch, and dinner here. So it's a passion of mine. I was raised by a full-blooded Italian grandmother, so I love to cook. But if I go somewhere, you want to go to a nice steakhouse that offers elk and bison and just really cool, like venison meals. But I mean, what I consider 5-star here in LA, you'd be like, that's a solid 3.
How far? Right. But you're 10.5 in the hills of Montana. So it's just a
Montana
trade-off.
25.
Well, all right. Now, how far would you have to drive to get a piece of sushi? Is there a sushi restaurant anywhere?
I am of the belief that unless you are living in Chicago, do not trust sushi anywhere unless you're on the East Coast or West Coast. Like, if I can't see the ocean out my window, I'm not a sashimi sushi girl. So if you come to Montana wanting sushi, good luck to you. Because Amazon Prime, 2-day shipping can sometimes take 8 days to get to my house.
What is if you don't mind, the name of the town that's nearest to you?
The closest big city is Kalispell. And I believe pre-COVID was like 19,000 people, 20,000 people. But I think everyone inundated it, fleeing our crumbling cities.
So no sushi there.
Not that I know of. And if it was there, like I said, I wouldn't go eat it.
But it's weird that you go out for a nice night with a long drive into town and order, elk. I feel like you'd be going for something else because you get enough.
Rainbow trout. I
feel like your husband brings that shit home every day from the river.
Well, it's fine dining. So the presentation's there with the tiny little thing with like swirls and stuff. But we make a big event. Like if it's date night, I have to go to the grocery store. He has to go to Cabela's. Like there's all this stuff that we have to do. And you make sure you do it because, you might not be able to get to that city for a few weeks if it snows real bad.
Oh, right.
I mean, yeah, like I've idled down our highway to pick up my mother-in-law from an airport in a blizzard, and it took me almost 3 hours to get there, and it was pretty treacherous.
Brian.
Adrian, you comedically, juxtapose LA dining to, the rural dining. I would love it if LA had like an exotic meats or more exotic meats, elk and venison, like you said. It's really hard to find. I go to a lot of restaurants and I rarely see that stuff, if ever.
I don't know. Wouldn't someone picket it? I feel like it would offend somebody there.
Maybe the happy wasn't cow.
I think Chris can look, or Gina can look it up. I think there's a place on the ocean side of Topanga Canyon. There's something Moonlight Cafe or there's some restaurant that's in Topanga Canyon that has venison or elk or that kind of stuff.
I'm saying if you find like bison on the menu, that's a novelty out of here.
Oh yeah. How about Hungarian? I love goddamn Hungarian. Any Hungarian in the village? Nothing?
No. There's one Mexican restaurant here.
That's exotic.
And it makes me so sad because having lived in LA and Arizona, I just go there and I'm like, I guess it's okay. It's like Taco Bell.
Yeah.
It makes me sad.
All right. Let me, Adrian, you're going to hang out with us and do the news?
Sure.
Let me hit Klaviyo first. Holidays are here, and unconventional gifts are the best, like owning your data and growth with Klaviyo, which leads to customer brand loyalty. Wherever you're whether you're an entrepreneur or you're growing a startup company or you're a longtime visionary evolving your company, Klaviyo is an email and SMS marketing platform that helps your own growth. It helps you grow. Klaviyo, I should say, helps you own your growth. Let's be clear. Klaviyo boosts your marketing by giving you the tools you need to own and access the data you've sourced from customers. Using their customer-first data is like homemade versus store-bought cookies. Homemade's always the best. That's Klaviyo. And you can tell the difference. When you own your data, you own your growth. Learn more at Klaviyo. That's klaviyo.com/holidays. You figure out the name of that place?
Is it Saddle Peak Lodge?
Yeah, that's it. Lodge.
There you go.
Yeah.
What do they have there?
It's a $4 restaurant in Calabasas.
I'll think
it's in
about
Calabasas.
Yeah, so not too far. They have, I don't care about the veggies. Let's see.
There's something in Topanga somewhere, I think.
Here they have, Saddle Peak has elk, quail, emu, bison.
Oh,
Yeah.
emu.
I've had emu.
I've heard of this place, and they're famous for like exotic, for LA, exotic meats.
All right, well, there you go. And
Yeah.
the Topanga Canyon one I'm making up, or is that me? Well, we can check it out. All right, Adrianne Curry, hang with us. We'll take a quick break and come back and do the news right after this. Oh, Saddle Peak Lodge is in between Calabasas and Topanga.
Ah, there you
on
go.
one of those roads up there, so that's why I had it in Topanga.
Well, the Golden Globes is very all dressed up with no place to go. They announced their nominations, but the show has no TV home, and most of the nominees likely aren't participating.
Well, that's interesting.
To the point where the association made this move, not requiring submissions. Like, don't reach out to us. We'll just sort of pick something, even if you're not interested. Wow. So why is this happening? Well, People magazine reports that Hollywood is largely boycotting the Globes after news broke last year that the Hollywood Foreign Press Association had no people of color among its membership and about other internal corruption. And this was an LA Times expose that said there were no black members within the HFPA.
It is the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. It's made up entirely of foreigners.
True.
Whether or not they meet your definition of what is acceptable as diverse,
well,
they're all non-Americans from all over the world.
But there have been some major celebs that came out against them. Tom Cruise and Scarlett Johansson were among several stars to speak out. Tom Cruise returning all of his Golden Globes in protest.
Does he really give a shit? Or is everyone just making a comment now?
I'm sure I forgot he had them.
If you can find them, you
his
can have them.
publicist returned
Yeah,
them.
how are you going to hold that boat cover down out in the driveway, John, without the Golden Globes? Those have some heft. We were talking about this yesterday with the whole Jussie Smollett thing, and everyone who takes to Twitter like immediately, like, do we have to comment on everything? Like it's some foreign press thing. Let them work out their internal whatever. You've got them. You have to return them. Why?
Optics.
Is anyone going to punish Tom? You think someone would be invited to a dinner party and see Golden Globes on the shelves and then turn around and leave?
And
Good day, sir.
And why does it have to meet making the universal your definition of diverse? Like that would indicate there's a right diverse and a wrong diverse, and that's what we're saying, which is crazy.
I don't think anybody feels anything towards any of this virtue signaling they're doing. I think their PR agents are like, this is what you should do, and they do it. I don't think anyone stands behind their convictions anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you in that, because as you point out, there are real atrocities in the world. And there's plenty of atrocities being perpetrated on women. And so if, in fact, you're just working on atrocities and women being harmed, then that would be number one. And then whatever shit we got here on a much smaller scale than what went on, that's going on sort of globally, it seems like you would focus on that. I feel the same way about Black Lives Matter. Like, you do care about Black lives? Yes. Well, there's a whole bunch of Black people getting shot in Chicago right now. Not interested? No. Okay. What the fuck is it then? I thought this is what you're interested in.
Well, they never lied. Their leaders were trained Marxists. And as true Marxists would do, they took all the money and bought themselves nice houses and gave nothing to anyone to help in any way.
One in Topanga Canyon, by the way.
Maybe she goes to Saddle Peak Lodge.
Yes, literally the widest enclave in Los Angeles. Topanga Canyon is the widest place in maybe ever. I don't know, but certainly in LA, which is pretty diverse. And if you were worried that much about being hunted because of the color of your skin, I don't think you'd want to park it in Topanga. But all right, this is what we do now, which is fine. I get what they're doing. I get what everyone's doing. Why is it so enticing to everyone? Why are everyone climbs on board and supports and tweets out and double tweets? Like, what do we care?
That's a good question. And I grabbed this old meme, just this old quote I found online. And I thought, I'm interested to get your thoughts on this if it ever comes up. And now seems like the perfect time. It's attributed to someone named John W. Gardner. And it says, well, this is not apples to apples, but it kind of reminded me of what you're saying. Self-pity is easily the most destructive of non-pharmaceutical narcotics. It is addictive, it gives momentary pleasure, and separates the victim from reality.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's that same sort of, it's under the same umbrella of how tempting it is to feel that way and to put that out there.
Oh,
you go, girlfriend. I love that you brought that up, because victimhood is more highly addictive than fentanyl at this point. Like, everyone's in the victim Olympics. Everyone's raising their hands. No one's a victor. No one's victorious in their life. Everyone's this belly crawling, sniveling narcissist that needs everyone to tell them how horrible their lives are every moment of every day. And I'm just like, guys, turn that frown upside down. Life is not that bad.
Just say no.
No.
Yeah, it's debilitating. It ruins people. It's also, it's one thing if you're a consenting adult, but in a way, it's a lot like being a pedophile or something, kids being victimized. Convincing kids, young people, they're victims, it's cruel. It fucks their shit up. And I feel the same way. I feel the same way about race as I do about COVID. Like, do not freak the young people out. You're fucking traumatizing people. They're getting depressed. You're fucking with their heads. These are long-lasting things. They stay around. The psychological ramifications are there for forever. In many cases, stop it. Like, stop convincing every young black kid you have a target on your back because you live in America, or you can't be gainfully employed, or white people hate you, or your neighbors don't like you, you won't be accepted. Freaking kids out is about the most damaging thing you can do to a kid. We happily do it because kids are the future. We don't give a fuck about the old people. They're going to die. They don't pay taxes. I don't give a fuck. But the kids, we got to get the kids. And it's cruel to kids.
I will say I agree with you completely. I went to therapy pretty much my entire childhood and teen years because of what happened to me being molested by a pedophile. So what did they teach me? To not be a victim, to be victorious, to not have that drag me down into drugs and despair, that victimhood was. And now it's like we flipped the switch. We're like, no victimhood. And I'm like, wait a minute. I had 2 decades of therapy teaching me that is the worst thing to teach anyone. And now we're supposed to just magically believe that all this time it was a big lie and actually kids should be victims. I'm like, this is just dangerous and sad.
Well, the insidious part is they don't really believe kids should be victims. They just use them to get whatever they're looking for out of the equation. Political, schools, unions, whatever it is. They're just looking to sculpt the narrative. The kids be damned. I don't care if they burn up a few kids' lives. We don't give a fuck. We need what we need. And so they use the kids to get what they want, which is the insidious and kind of dangerous and weird part of this whole thing. But anyway.
It's grooming. It's grooming. It's what a pedophile would do to a child.
Yes.
Only our nation is doing this to kids for our gain, which is just insidious and disgusting.
Yeah, I call it crate training. You got to crate train of puppies. You can't do it with middle-aged dogs. You got to get them young, and you got to get them in the fucking crate. And that's what they're doing. And fucking spineless parents that are doing this to your kids, you're complicit in this. Stop it. Wake up. Don't be so fucking weak. Yeah, I don't like. It's insane. It's not. There's not going to be a good outcome. I talk to Drew about all of this all the time. Like, suicide rates are up with teens, depression's up with teens, young teenage girls. Man, they're fucking through the floorboards. Yeah. They're going nuts right now. We made them insane. They I don't know what other than moving to Montana and rubbing a deer brain on a pelt. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but
most of my friends yanked all their children out of school and are homeschooling. And I mean, the mad respect that I have for these mothers that have now given up careers and they're willing to live paycheck to paycheck to make sure that this crap isn't going on with their kids. But like you said, with brain tanning, maybe if we took it down a notch, got away from social media and this incessant need for validation through likes and people seeing a post, and actually tap back into the earth, because we're hunter-gatherers. That's what is in our DNA, and we've taken that from ourselves. So what do? We have nothing but time to obsess over mundane, stupid things, and it's making us insane because we're not busy with our hands and busy doing something productive with our life.
Were you guys separated at birth?
I know. Well, it's easy for you to say you're hot and you know it. I'm hot and I don't know it, so I need to be validated on occasion. You see, it's easier for you and your supermodel perch over there just to sit back and look hot.
Yeah, she just needs to look in a mirror.
No one validates me out here. That's the great thing about living amongst mountain people. They don't give a damn who I am or where I'm from. They just don't want me to change my town and what am I contributing to it. And that's it. And I'm like, man, I love this place. This is so good.
And to take it a step further, a lot of the wildlife probably looks at her and is like, ugh, what?
Ugh.
There's nothing on, there's no meat on this bone. Yeah.
Hairless. Yeah, no meat. See her ribs.
Right?
Yeah.
Slim
It's a
pickings.
snack for the kids.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, sorry.
Let's move on to Armie Hammer, who Mazel Tov is out of his 9-month stay in rehab. Still facing charges of what New York Post refers to as shocking accusations of violence against women and a cannibalistic sex addiction. Hammer remains under investigation in L.A. for these charges that he displayed these sort of violent urges. I have the texts, if you're interested. Some great quotes here. I'll say allegedly, but they didn't say allegedly. They said these are the texts. I am 100% a cannibal. I want to eat you. I need to drink your blood. I'm going to be so naughty and kinky with you. I need to eat your entire body. I need to touch every part of you inside and out. I want to
That's
bite.
what Adrian's man says to the deer when he's gutting it.
I want to bite off pieces of you.
He mashes up the brain and the heart. Horrific.
What's
pie.
this guy's name? He's got a good name like Cody? Dutch?
No, his name's Matthew Paul.
I'll take a Matt. I'll take a Matt.
Matt's fine. Matt's
That's why
fine.
you walk on. That's why you wipe your feet
biblical.
on.
Yeah. Matt's fine. Matthew, no.
We'll allow it. The TMZ reports that the LA police have been completing their investigation of these allegations, and they forwarded the case to the DA.
I feel like it's... yeah, sorry, Adrian. Go ahead.
I was going to say, am I just disgusting? And I'm just going to say this. When I'm hearing that, it could be cannibalism or she could be on her monthly. Like, what? Seriously,
Yeah.
like I heard it and I was like, wait a minute. Like if he's like, I'm nasty. I don't care if it's your time. I'm going to drink your blood. Like what if it was that? So I'm not jumping to conclusions.
No, you're right. And you know what? I was assuming that we all knew and remembered other parts of this story. He's under these allegations of like these really allegedly these violent kind of attacks on his girlfriend and like beating her with a crop and keeping her in the apartment. So we'll see.
I'm kind of with Adrian.
Oh boy, let's get this
Well,
going.
first off, congratulations on being a cord cutter and a plug puller in terms of your lifestyle.
That's good. I got it.
Thank you. Got that, Jim?
Yeah, I got it.
Thank you. Yeah, maybe if you put it through the context, that's a tough putt. He's weird.
Yeah, there's no evidence of him wanting like a straw.
I'm also though, if you want to, oh Gina, Jesus Christ, you crossed the line, girl. It's not against the law to be weird.
True.
And or consensually weird,
True.
like role playing and dressing up and all that kind of stuff. It's when it's applied to the unweird people.
The unwilling.
The unwilling and the unweird. So I feel like I need more of that. Is there more of that? Because and also, I don't know if anyone's learned a lesson from Armin. What is it?
Armin was the grandfather. He's
that's right.
Army.
Army Hammer or Jussie Smollett or Chris Cuomo. Like, stop sending texts to everybody. Stop memorializing everything. Jesus Christ, it's out there.
It has
exists.
a timestamp.
It exists now.
Yeah.
Emails and texts, and they all get gathered up, and then we just all feast on them.
Yeah, here's one.
Pick
this
up
woman,
the phone, man.
Her name is Effie, and we're in a two-party consent state, as you know from Crank Anchor, so you can't use it anyway. The woman identified as Effie said Hammer violently raped her for hours in L.A., during which he slammed her head against a wall and beat her with a crop.
Well, that's something.
So we'll see. And hey, he and Marilyn Manson have a lot in common.
I know.
We should get
it's
together.
weird.
I'll
Beat
say
each
this.
other.
Do these texts also have the responses to the women, or have they been conveniently redacted and then only his texts are there? Because I always have a problem with that. I'm like, where's the rest?
Yeah.
Because we live in a world where we're constantly being bamboozled by weirdos, and then we believe their story, and then what happens? Like, I'm tired of being victim of being like, yeah, I stand with blah, blah, blah. And then you find out that blah, blah, blah is a liar and that none of that happens.
We're getting a healthy dose of that lately.
Yeah, I could use a response.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, like, where's the whole conversation?
Like, ooh, tell me more. I'm interested.
Yeah.
Well, like I said,
Entrapment.
it's like we talked about with, Matt Lauer. Matt Lauer was accused of a bunch of stuff, but there's also a bunch of texts and stuff of her like responding and coming back and having more sex. And, there's another side of the story. It can't, it gives you the full context of the story. Doesn't mean whatever happened didn't happen.
It doesn't negate it, yeah.
It just means, gives you some context.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Innocent until proven guilty, right? I think that's something we've kind of forgotten.
Yeah,
And,
we're getting away from that.
Well, legally, not socially.
Right.
I think there's been a huge divide there.
He's going to have, the thing also about actors or hosts, teleprompter readers, we don't really need you, so it's hard to come back.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway.
These guys probably could have used the team that put out the new Peloton ad when it comes to marketing. And just as a teaser, by the way, if you're watching the new Sex and the City, this is a time to fast forward, major spoiler, and to wet your whistle. I have a little quote from Christy Bishop in here too. So this is the story of the new show, And Just Like That. I don't know if you watched it.
I'm going to watch the shit out of that, though.
Oh, then I can't.
watched it.
Can I tell you?
heard this
Okay.
story.
I didn't, and I watched it, and I fucking cried all night.
I know, it was very sad for people.
Wouldn't have watched it. But so one of the main, I'm just going to say it. Carrie's husband now, Mr. Big, he, in the final moments of the first episode, he She dies after riding a Peloton too hard, and Peloton is fucking worried. So that caused all this controversy. Peloton stock prices immediately fell.
Peloton, by the way, is the name of his Greek maid. Just so you have some context. I know you're out in the hills there, Adrian.
So in a damage control move, Chris Noth, who plays Mr. Big, and Jess King, who's I don't know, you guys would probably know, a big Peloton instructor.
Yeah, Christy knows that because she showed this to me this morning. She goes, "This is brilliant. Look at this."
Yeah, and she was in she played Allegra, but does a Peloton coach in the show. They have this this commercial that's really great, put out by Ryan Reynolds' marketing company. And at the end of the clip, you're going to hear Ryan Reynolds' voice do this long disclaimer on health benefits of using a Peloton.
Well, Peloton stock dropped like 11% or something after they aired this.
And if you'll remember before we play
the way,
this.
Sorry, Gina, but sorry, Adrian. How dumb are chicks? They're watching the show's not dumb there. They're watching a TV show, a guy dies exercise. They're like,
can't do that.
Take it back. Like, these are real people. This didn't really happen.
No, I disagree. Go ahead.
How stupid do you have to be to watch a fictitious show where someone dies on a bike?
It's the ladies. This isn't the boys.
No, this is Wall Street. This is those big swinging dicks on Wall Street saying, we got to prepare for this because people are going to freak out. That's what I think.
I think it's driven by the bitches.
Remember the show This Is Us?
Yeah.
And how
I'm not gay.
A couple years ago, one of their main characters died from a faulty crock pot, and crock pot had to put out a statement. So this happens.
Really? Okay.
So anyway,
Jaguar in Mad Men, right? Didn't try to kill himself in a Jaguar?
I didn't even think about that.
I'm losing faith in the human race the more we talk about this.
Crockpot's like, we're really sorry that happened to the character, but we're third-party tested. Right. So this is the spot with Chris Noth and Jess King. And listen to the very end and listen closely to what Ryan Reynolds says.
They're in front of a fire.
To new beginnings. You look great.
I feel great. Should we take another ride? Life's too short not to.
And just like that, the world was reminded that regular cycling stimulates and improves your heart, lungs, and circulation, reducing your risk of cardiovascular diseases. Cycling strengthens your heart muscles, lowers resting pulse, and reduces blood fat levels. He's alive.
It's funny.
So I asked an expert. I asked Christy Bishop, Brian's lovely wife. I did this morning what she thought of this. Really was I had no idea if she was going to think this was a good idea or a bad idea.
She loved it.
This is her quote. She says, Pelotons had a rough few months after product recalls, sluggish sales, stock dips. The Sex and the City episode alone caused the stock to slide 11% on Friday and had the potential to become an enormous PR nightmare. Peloton had a tough choice. Address the ad ASAP or hope it goes away. They made a very smart choice.
Address the ad or address
the issue?
Oh, yeah. Damn it, Christy. They made a very smart choice to enlist Ryan Reynolds' Maximum Effort marketing company to respond in a way that would land well with Peloton users, Sex and the City fans, and other audiences. Their entire creative response was turned around in less than 48 hours, and it's a brilliant, hilarious response to a potential PR nightmare.
Good.
So I guess it was a good thing.
We're all talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know why we needed to talk about it.
Who chose Moonlight Sonata? Like, that's
Ryan
so
Reynolds.
depressing and dark.
It's clearable.
Yeah.
I guess, but why not Ode to Joy?
That's the question. Speaking of clearable, when you think like Crockpot makes a statement, Jaguar, Peloton, I'm shocked that you're even allowed to use a real product in scenes like this, that you're saying killed people.
People have been killed by Peloton products, so I guess you could say, well, it's based off of actual events.
I guess.
Yeah, Peloton knew that they were going to be in the show, but they didn't tell them that
they know they're going to
die. So that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like poor Crockpot. Okay.
Like the time I did the man show bit where I was trying to have sex with my mom.
Right.
But I told my real mom I was working on an homage to her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in a way.
It's a little bit of that.
I see. That
See
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying?
Yeah, you
Just
finesse it.
Finesse it.
Yeah, I get
a little bit.
We do have a Time Magazine's Person of the Year. The other one was the Athlete of the Year.
You know what made that story extra funny?
What?
My mom said, okay, and we hung up the phone, and the next time I talked to her, she goes, I looked up the word homage. Thank you very much.
I can't believe she didn't know that.
She said she's a Chicano studies major
she's
for
still in
18
college.
years at
Educated
Valley
woman.
College. I don't know why she didn't.
Wow.
I'm a construction worker from North Hollywood. I don't know. My mom went to college for 29 years.
She's still in college.
I shouldn't pick that one up.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't homage a cheese in French?
That's probably what she was thinking.
So the Times Person of the Year is Elon Musk. The magazine cites his influence in the global economy, Tesla, and efforts to go to space. Says the richest man in the world does not own a house and has recently been selling off his fortune. He tosses satellites into orbit and harnesses the sun. He drives a car he created.
I've renewed faith in humanity.
Yeah.
I'm fucking tired of the fucking 11-year-old who stood up for transgendered, whatever, all this fucking nonsense. Here's a guy that goes out, takes names, fucking kicks ass, creates jobs, builds shit
and gets the credit.
Kids are going to use one day if they're not using them now. Good. Let's get back to this.
Yeah.
Adrian, what do you think, Elon Musk?
I think he's based and hilarious, and he's spectrum, and my husband's on the spectrum, so I appreciate where he's coming from with the no filter, but I imagine Twitter's having a meltdown. Not that I would know, I deleted mine, but I just imagine everyone's collectively losing their minds, and that brings me great joy.
I'm the same way. I like when people lose their mind. I'm also just old school. I need you to do something to get your award. I don't like it when it goes to, they go Times Man of the Year. All the ladies from the soccer team. Like I don't like it when it's 14 people. I like one person. Male, female, and I want you to cure something, invent something, do something.
What year was it? The Journalist.
That was
one of the years.
2016 or 17.
Like I had that's it's neither fish nor fowl. It's nothing. It's like you've just given it to everybody. I've given it to all the children in the world. You know what I mean? It's like,
that means nothing.
Give it to a dude. All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. I am 100% a cannibal. I want to eat you. I need to drink your blood. I'm going to be so naughty and kinky with you. I need to eat your entire body. I need to touch every part of you inside and out.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
Never has it been a better time to be like functionally illiterate and busy all the time. Because if I get any of those texts, I remember my replies, will do.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
See, it's just a wine and
right.
A.
Yeah.
Like I give one word responses. See you then.
Yep.
Boom. Done. No, I don't have time to get kinky and weird.
Yeah.
I can't spell half the shit he wrote.
God, that'd be so embarrassing.
It's nothing. All right, let me tell you about LifeLock. The holiday season of giving is also a season of taking for cyber criminals. Stay safe while holiday shopping. Only visit secure sites, use a VPN, and create strong passwords. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Every day we put our info at risk on the internet. In an instant, cyber criminals could harm your finances and your credit. Good thing there's a LifeLock. LifeLock helps detect a wide range of identity threats like your social security number for sale on the dark web. If they detect your information has potentially been compromised, they will send you an alert. So protect yourself with LifeLock, right, Dawson?
No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can keep what's yours with LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Join now and save up to 25% off your first year with promo code Adam. Call 1-800-LifeLock or head to lifelock.com. Use promo code Adam for 25% off.
All right. If you want to get hold of Adrianne Curry, send her a smoke signal. See if the...
Dress up as a bear.
See if the Gulf Stream will take it over to her cabin.
Or don't get a hold of me. That's even better yet.
That's a first.
God love you. Well, I'll put out AdrianCurry.com just because it's at the top of my plug sheet anyway. And but don't use that.
Whatever you do.
Yes. All right. I'm doing a couple specials coming up. Let's see. We got live shows. Yeah, the Brea Improv. I think the second show is sold out, but the TJ Miller show still got some tickets left. That's coming up this Wednesday. And then we're all going to be in Portland, 22nd, 23rd of December, doing some live shows there and some stand-up there. Just go to amcarolla.com. For all that, you can watch those shows. You can go to dailywire.com and check out my stand-up shows over there. Truth Yeller. Until next time, Adam Carolla for Adrianne Curry and Gina Grad and Bryan saying mahalo. We have an alleged victim here
Wow.
who rubs one out to this crime that happened to him.
Question.
Checkmate.
All right, I rest.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
You beat off to it.
Your Honor,
You would have
we don't have to deliberate.
There is no such thing as a 16-year-old who's banging their teacher that did not beat off to it at some point along the way. This is 3 years later. You know what I mean?